days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are happy days. These days are share them with me. Goodbye gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. These days are share them with me. These days are happy and free. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Happy days.
Welcome to They Call This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and podcast services by searching They Call This a Movie, and find us on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Call This a Movie. This is Anthony Del Vecchio. With me as always is Dan Aquino and Mark Myers. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, friends.
Hello, everyone. So this week, and I apologize if this is jumping on any of your notes going forward, but it was something I've realized today, watching what we watched for the podcast. So we watched this on Pluto TV, which essentially reminded me of how watching TV used to be before DVR and streaming and all that. And I used to think, oh, I could handle it. I could sit through it. I was getting annoyed at every time it went to commercial for like 2-3 minutes and going, oh, commercial.
Mhm.
And it just made me realize that all the times I'm yelling at the or jokingly yelling at my nieces and stuff about, being frustrated that you can't skip an ad and all, and then realize that I've been, I guess, indoctrinated into that loss of patience when I can't look. Not even looking at my phone could take the annoyance away from me. So it was a funny experience to go through that, and then it makes me realize, like, how did we, it's sort of like how things change so slowly that sometimes you don't even realize it.
Yeah, but like I feel like this is a 5 years ago revelation, because now commercials are coming back. Like,
Yeah.
I know you're saying that this Pluto TV sparked this, but most of the time we're watching movies on Tubi that has ads. We're watching, I feel like the only options now that don't have ads is like, because HBO Max doesn't, but Netflix has an ad tier, Disney Plus has an ad tier, so Amazon they took away the free the no ads.
Yeah, for some reason, I guess because of how short these episodes were going to be and the fact that I had to sit through commercials, maybe that's why the annoyance built up.
Maybe.
It's like it should be like an hour. I should be out of here in an hour. Like, what?
Right.
And now I'm sitting here for, maybe even 15 minutes at most longer. And I think that's kind of why I got annoyed. Like, I know what I'm in for when I'm watching a long movie. Like, I set my evening. I'm like, all right, it's going to be, even though it's an hour and a half, it's going to be 2 hours. Eat dinner, do the dishes, get all that, sit down, make sure I'm good and ready if I'm watching it the day of the podcast.
I don't know.
But with this, for some reason, it just clicked that annoyance in me. And I think it was because I thought I would have more time after I was done watching it than I ended up having. And I think it was just an expectation thing on my end, maybe.
Sure, maybe. Because I feel every commercial break in every movie we ever watch.
The worst ones are, I'll give you the Tubi. The ones I don't really get annoyed by it, but it makes me laugh more than anything. It's like you'll get like the first ad or two, and it's like 3 ads of like 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds on one. And then you'll get like midway through the movie or close to it, and all of a sudden it'll be 6 ads of like 30 to 45 seconds to a minute each. And it's just like, you're already this far committed. We got you. You're going to sit through all these commercials at this point. I
I
think
also think the issue is that the commercials we see aren't memorable. They're very bland,
Yeah.
cookie cutter commercials now.
Yeah. I always get surprised when I get the random one in like Spanish that pops up for reasons that I can't figure out why. Like I don't know what algorithm led my Tubi to think I wanted this Spanish ad for Tide to come up. But it's like it's not even like a consistent thing. It just happens randomly. Yeah, that's always fun as well. But yeah, that was just like I said, maybe it was recency bias too in my head, but that's what I felt sitting through this whole thing today. Was just realize that I wasn't immune to getting annoyed by commercials.
Gotcha. I think on 2B, sometimes I get these very luxury brand items. Like there was a time where I was getting like stairs, but like very expensive looking stair installations, which I'm like 20 it had. I've never looked it up, but I was like, that's got to be like $20,000 staircase. Yeah, so those are always
I
interesting.
I used to get the patio, the new patios, like the bricks and the
Oh
stone.
yeah, I got those a couple of times too.
Yeah, same thing. Like, oh, work from your backyard with this new patio. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, that's a $40,000 landscaping job.
Right. I'm watching Tubi. It's a free streaming network.
Know your audience.
Exactly.
I'm watching Baby Cat at Tuesday at 8:30 at night on Tubi.
You're barking up the wrong tree here.
Yeah, I'm not ready for $40,000 lawn equipment.
Yeah, but again,
if I could afford that, do you think I'd be watching
Baby
Tubi?
Cat on Tubi.
God willing, this could lead to us being able to afford $40,000 patio sets. You never know.
Yeah, fast
Maybe
forward
one
4
day-
years after this podcast, we're recording it out on Ant's $40,000 patio.
Yeah, Baby Cat could lead to better things. You never know.
It's like that Domino's meme. Watching
true.
Baby Cat at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, and the top thing is living in a mansion.
Yeah, why not? I will say for the episode that we watched tonight and getting commercials did leave me more nostalgic, I'll say, because this was the show that we watched harkens back to an era that was normal, right?
Yeah.
There was plenty of commercials and they actually sold you things. So the ones I got today were bogus, but whatever. But it still made me feel like, oh man, this reminds me of when I would stay home from school sick and this is what I would see. This was my viewing experience.
Yeah. And I think it might be more because it's modern commercials, because I've recently found for some reason in my algorithm, it started popping up like old like hour to 3 hour blocks of like MTV from the 80s that with all the commercials and stuff still in it, like to that time period. And I find those fascinating to sit through and watch when I have that like on in the background.
That's the reason. That's the reason why your algorithm is feeding it to you, Mark. Because you keep clicking and watching them.
That's true.
Mystery solved.
I would like to know what was the thing I clicked on.
Tell Fred and Daphne they don't need to show up on this one. We got it handled.
Yeah, that. I wonder what was the first thing I clicked on that started the algorithm pattern to give me like every New Year's Eve thing from the 80s that MTV offered in my suggestions. Like what was the first thing that led me down this tree?
Probably that week that you watched Supermarket Sweep on my Netflix.
That could be. It could be it. Yeah, but yeah, it's just that was the only thing I was thinking about was commercials today, because I had watched I'd been watching some of that MTV stuff for the last week, and then thought I was immune to all this, and then today was just
yes, we watched commercials, and this week we didn't watch a movie, and we'll get to that. We watched something different, but the reason why we didn't watch a movie is because we have a patreon.com/TicTamPod. That's TCTAM pod. And for just $1, we've had people that subscribe and go on to our Discord, and they've helped us decide this week's episode. This week's episode is a special one because it is July movie of the month. And this month's theme is Shark Week. I believe it is Shark Week actually this week. I don't know. Dan can confirm.
It is through August 2nd, I think.
There you go. Through August 2nd, which is Sunday. So, This is Shark Week. So we asked our Patreon subscribers to vote on 3 shark themed choices, and there's one that won. Before we talk about the one that won, we have the losers, which was Deep Blue Sea, which I believe was Mark's pick.
Yeah, my hat
And
is
we
showing the
have-
shark fin.
Exactly. One of his many hats. Remember that Mark has many hats, and ergo, he's got many shark fins.
Yes.
Dan's pick was The Meg 2.
Yes.
The Trench, I believe is the subtitle of that. The Trench. Despite the Quinos really lobbying hard for that, it did lose to my pick, which I went a little bit off board, and which was one of the reasons why I didn't want to tell you guys what I was going to pick until I put it down on the poll. And usually I don't tell you guys what I'm going to pick for. I'm always the last to pick. But anyway, I didn't want to sway you guys if you had known that I was going off board. It's like, oh, I gotta go off board too. Because really, there's really 2 shark movies we could have picked: Deep Blue Sea or Meg 2, because we've already watched the Meg, and then all the other ones are like, yeah, is there 9-headed shark attack? Sure, but that's just slop. So I went off board, and I went with a canon event in the world of sitcoms and television in general. I went with the 3-episode arc of when Fonzie jumps the shark in Happy Days. So we are watching. We watched this week Happy Days, asterisk episodes 1 through 3 asterisk, which was the Hollywood 3-parter. So Happy Days, the Hollywood episodes from 1977, season 5, episodes 1 through 3, is directed by Jerry Paris, stars Ron Howard, Henry Winkler, Marion Ross, Anson Williams, Donnie Most, Aaron Moran, Al Molinaro, Talia Balsam, James Doughton. Original air dates was September 13th, 1977, was a 1-hour episode, and then its conclusion was on September 20th, 1977. IMDb score is 6.6. 6.9 and 6.5.
Nice.
There you go. Plot. Fonzie and the Cunninghams travel to California after Fonzie is spotted by a talent scout who thinks he found the next James Dean. Once they get to Hollywood, producers actually want to hire Richie for the movie. Meanwhile, dejected Fonzie winds up facing off for beach supremacy against the California Kid, culminating in a death-defying stunt on a pair of water skis. I say asterisk when talking about episodes 1 through 3 because episode 1 is impossible to stream. For whatever reason, Pluto TV has just about every episode of Happy Days. It is missing episode 7 for some reason, and it is missing the first episode of season 5. I do not know why, but it does.
Yeah.
Before I get into all that fun stuff, I want to know where you guys are coming from with Happy Days episodes 1 through 3 of the Hollywood episode. So Dan, where are you coming from?
Happy Days was a staple in the Aquino household growing up. I've watched so many of the episodes, and a lot of it was coming back to me. Like as I was scrolling through episodes, like, oh, I remember that one. I remember that one. And it was fun to reminisce a little bit. I have my sisters over helping out with my son, and we were kind of just like walking down memory lane. Like, oh, you remember when this like Mork showed up and blah blah blah. When his brother disappeared from television, from existence, never to come back. Ted McGinley showing up in later episodes. This is definitely something I've seen before. World renowned, obviously. It coined a very famous phrase, and I think this is a perfect microcosm of how you remember things as a child to how you remember things as an adult. Because I remember seeing this episode as a child and, hearing about jumping the shark. It's synonymous with a show nearing the end of its run. It's all downhill from here. This was season 5. They went on for 6 more seasons.
Yeah.
They hadn't even met Mork yet.
Right. It takes until season 8 for Fonzie to get shot. And he's a hoodlum. That's how he's introduced. He's a greaser. He's a biker. Yeah. And it takes him 8 seasons to finally get shot. So
Oh,
yeah,
'cause-
it surprised me. I was like, whoa,
Yeah. Well, Dan, it's because every time someone shot at him, he just went, "Hey!" and the bullets went around him.
right.
And the one
He
that-
forgot to do it this time.
You've got to do
He
it that time.
deflected with his comb. Yeah, I mean, this looking back on it with the nostalgia goggles, it's a lot of fun seeing the style in the 50s, what's supposed to be the 50s, seeing how everyone talks and just how innocent TV was back then, right? Like the silliest jokes, the corniest laugh lines. It was a lot of fun to revisit. So I had seen this one before, and I was just sitting. I was like, man, again, as a kid, you don't notice these things, but as an adult, you look around and like, there's no black people in this show. They're they're in California. It's all white dudes, apparently, all white people.
No, I would assume in 1950s California that may have been.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that to be the case unless it was like, hey, this beach is only for one, this beach is only for the other. I don't
I mean,
know.
it was still segregation at that point.
Right. It was
So-
Jim Crow around that area, so,
Mhm.
around that era. So I
I
don't
mean,
know, but
They
mean,
do have Al Molinaro. So in the 1950s, Italian Americans might have been considered not
Also.
white.
Yeah.
that's the same joke I make, because my sister said, well, because the Fonz says something like, "Oh, my mom or my uncle told me this, but he told me in Italian." So my sister goes like, "See, they have an Italian guy, so that's kind of like a black guy." Like, yeah, back in the day, sure. But yeah, it takes place in the 50s, but the show is shot in the 70s, so
Yes.
you could have put some other people in there.
Look, if they didn't put black people in Friends, what did Happy Day? What did Happy Day do?
Yeah, there was no shot for that, I guess. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It was really funny and it's silly, and it brought me back to a simpler time as a kid. Staying home from school sick or whatever, and watching Happy Days.
All right, Mark.
Yeah.
The Hollywood episodes of Happy Days.
Yeah, so
What do you
I
think,
don't
Mark?
have the experience that Dan has with Happy Days. I did watch a good bit. My mom, would be a Nick at Night and all that stuff when shows of this era were on TV a lot. So I've seen in passing a lot. I did know about, obviously everyone knows Jumping the Shark. And, the point of and where the term comes from and goes to is that essentially, from what I read, the reason why this is pointed out as like that turning point and that phrase got coined was because from this point forward, the show focused a little more on Fonzie and, made him do more and more ridiculous things because they just ran out of ideas for him. And that's sort of, even though they lasted 6 more seasons, it was just, this was the first thing that started the trend of they just ran out of like grounded normal ideas for him. Getting shot 2 seasons later, being something. But overall, what I noticed most about the episode, and it's funny. I think I was discussing with Stan before the podcast. Like looking back on it, there's little jokes that seem funnier now, knowing what we know. Like there's a joke where the director in the screen test says to Richie, Ron Howard, you're just be looking for my job one day. And I'm like, back in that time, I don't know if there was any aspirations for Ron Howard being a director or anything, but that was a pretty funny, hindsight joke there. But it was just the overall differences, as Dan said, in the way sitcoms are from then to now. Like everything is just set up, very very straightforward for the laugh line. Like I guess Big Bang Theory was as something most recently that did that, because I think they did studio audience too, I think.
Yeah, the Chuck
well,
Lorre
Yeah.
Lorre produced shows were very much
Yeah.
akin to that easy laugh line kind of
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and the thing that I noticed, and it's definitely a psychological thing, is that I found more of the jokes when the studio audience was around. Like I chuckled more at them with the audience than I did the jokes when they were out on the beach and stuff.
Sure.
For some reason, it just didn't, just in my brain, just didn't seem as funny. And I'm like, oh, this is like the same type of humor, but it didn't hit the same there. And it was just, I think the funny part of this episode was, for me, not even about the episode. It's just the idea of, how long ago it was when it originally aired, that there's so many jokes in it that I don't even think I get, despite, not being so far removed from that, the time I grew up. Like the Jack Benny joke, as much as I know about Jack Benny, I didn't. It probably was funnier for somebody that had seen him more often
Yeah.
on TV than this. It just fell a little flat, and just that just little jokes like that, little references to things back then, and yeah, it was such a good time capsule. I think Happy Days does a good job of doing that, being like a time capsule for two different like time periods and generations.
Sure.
In there, it's one of the rare ones that can do that. And I think one of the things I noticed, having 2026 brain, is just how many times Henry Winkler just made sure he kissed the female co-star with him or the female next to him, for no reason. Like he does the thing where I think they're having a conversation there with a California kid, or maybe he's mad at Richie or something, and he walks back into the crowd and just kisses the girl, like before they cut away. And it's like that has no meaning to the story at all, and it's just something that wouldn't like play nowadays. And yeah, I enjoyed watching it. Like Happy Days, it's Gary Marshall's stuff is good enough that it can be a little bit timeless. Obviously, there's going to be things that don't transcend, but for the most part, it's never too cringeworthy. And I think I'll leave it with, I think my favorite part of the entire show was the California kid. The way he showed off how good he was at everything was he wore a shirt with all the cities of California stuck to him because that's where he won events or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was the dumbest, funniest thing that I saw on the episode. Just randomly wearing a giant sticker that said San Diego on it. And yeah, it was a lot better than I was expecting. And then when I saw it, I really had to go research why the shark jump became what it did, because it didn't seem that it was a crazy thing to do, but it didn't seem like a show ending thing that would transcend time, in the actual show. So that was a little something I wasn't expecting actually sitting down and watching the episode.
Okay. Yeah. As for me, loved Happy Days as a kid. I wouldn't say that I have vivid memories of watching it, but anytime I caught an episode, always had a great time. Obviously, their best episode was when they had Weezer on as guest stars. That was a good one. Probably my favorite episode. Yeah. But yeah, it is funny to think about how this plot became ubiquitous with when TV shows started to reach that apex and started to go downhill. But really, it's not even that moment for this show. It really, if any fans will point to when Richie leaves, which is like 2 seasons later. Like as I mentioned, like they haven't even met Mork yet. This is later in this season that the first episode with Robin Williams as Mork, which is maybe the second most famous episode behind this one, if not the most famous episode of this show, hasn't even happened yet. So it's funny to think about that. I wanted to talk about the experience of watching this show. You guys talk about the nostalgia. I want to talk about how awful of an app experience Pluto TV is.
Terrible.
Yeah, this is why I didn't want to step on your toes too much in the opening.
Awful. So my first attempt to watch this was on my TV in my sunroom. So downloaded the app on the TV. Wasn't gonna sign up, but then I think, unless I was doing things wrong, you can't watch on-demand stuff on Pluto TV unless you sign up for a free account. It's a free account, you don't have to pay anything, but regardless, you can only watch their streaming channels, I believe. Unless I was doing something wrong. So that was the first thing. So then I had to sign up on my phone because it's just easier, because then you need to scan the barcode thing on the TV and blah, blah, blah. And then it just wouldn't stop having Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves playing in the background as I was trying to navigate to Happy Days, which is fine, but it looked like shit in terms of like the janky UI. And then so I finally got to Happy Days, which is slower than molasses, trying to get to it, and then played the opening theme, then cut to commercial, and then it got stuck on the commercial. Like didn't even play the commercial, just a black screen as it was trying to load the commercial. So I had to turn off the TV, turn it back on, try it again. I think I listened to the Happy Days theme song like 3 times.
It's a good theme song.
It's a great theme song. Great theme song. Love the theme song. And then I quit, and then I was like, oh, you know what? Why don't I just grab my laptop and then I'll mirror my screen and I'll watch it on the TV from my laptop, mirroring it. As soon as I mirrored it, like the screen went black, like the playback, just you could hear audio but not see video. As soon as I took it off of mirroring, and went right back in. So they're trying not to make you stream it. So long story short, I had to just watch this like this was 2011, streaming things on my laptop. And
Real
it was
quick,
fine.
Dan,
Yeah.
do you know what you had to do? You know why it was getting stuck?
Why?
Every time a commercial comes on, you have to press play on your remote.
That's insane.
It is insane. I figured that out by accident.
I didn't have to do that. I don't know.
What
Yeah,
what kind of TV do you have, Dan?
Samsung.
Is it the Samsung app? So
Yeah.
Mark doesn't have a Samsung TV.
I have
We
a
both had Samsung
TCL.
TVs.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it must be the
Samsung.
garbage app for Pluto TV on the Samsung television.
Yeah.
Good to know now.
There you go.
But now I will never go back to Pluto TV.
Yeah,
if we can
actively
avoid
it.
if we
Yeah.
could avoid ever watching anything on Pluto TV for as long as I live, I thought Paramount Plus is bad, and it's probably still worse because you actually pay for that.
Yeah.
So your money is going nowhere because they haven't updated that UI in
Yeah.
6 years at least, and they haven't fixed any of the problems that everybody has, I'm sure, reported a billion times.
But the streaming is up like 13%, 15%.
It's
So
crazy.
so they say.
Paramount, so it's selective garbage because if they have a show that they want you to watch, it streams perfect. You know, there is no issues. Anything that they're featuring, it'll play like nothing. It's just like any other disease. If you go into the depths of Paramount Plus and try and play something, guaranteed you're gonna have it. Guaranteed. Like I was
Every
trying
time.
to watch Blue's Clues, like put on Blue's Clues for my son. Made it through one episode before it was just like again that commercial abyss, like that the purgatory of whether or not this commercial is going to load, and if it does load, if the show is going to load after the commercial is just it's like playing Russian roulette, especially when you're trying to just get occupy a toddler. Yeah. It's and part. This is only the one part of the problem with trying to stream this show, because as I mentioned, we couldn't watch all of the 3 episodes that we were slated to watch.
Yeah.
Because, and I think this points out it's easy to ignore the shortcomings of streaming when you're not trying to stream a 50-year-old sitcom. Because how many people are watching Happy Days on Pluto TV on a given day?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
single
not many have
digits.
Yeah,
in the
maybe
country.
low hundreds.
Yeah, it's not high. So like the demand isn't there. So like it's all over the place. Like I said, Pluto TV doesn't have season 7. Why? No idea. It doesn't have the first episode of the 5th season. Why? I have no idea. Why does Paramount Plus only have season 2? I have no idea.
It's got to be
That's
like
the
a
weird
rights
one.
thing.
Yeah. But like why are the rights not just wholesale? You know?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I'm sure it's
bunch
like
of
there's music.
legalese.
There's music in episode 1 of the 5th
Yeah.
season that they just didn't bother to get the rights for,
Right.
Try a Beach Boys song or something like that because they're going to California.
Right.
I'm sure there's a logical explanation for why
That
there
is
isn't
probably
why there isn't
100%.
season 7 is completely removed. I don't know. Maybe they changed the theme song to something else that they didn't have the rights to. I don't fucking know. But it's stupid. It's stupid. And
Hence
like,
the biggest problem with streaming in general.
Yeah. rights issues. It's always fucking rights issues.
Guys, we should have just bought the box set for this podcast.
I
Yeah,
was
I'm here.
tempted. I spent a lot of time trying to illegally download the first episode we were supposed to watch, just so we could, obviously these are all, it didn't matter because the first episode we knew what happened. We could piece together
Yeah.
from the other two episodes. It wasn't a big deal of not being able to watch that because really the episode we wanted to watch was episode 3 of Jumping the Shark.
Well, well, Al perfectly recaps the
Yes.
entire ordeal in a postcard with I don't know, the longest postcard ever written.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
it's essentially Richie writing the postcard, and he's relaying it to Chachi.
Yeah, we did. We were reprieved for not having to see Scott Baio's stupid face. But we did get all Malinaro because remember there was no reruns back then, so they had to tell the people what they saw last week.
Yeah.
In a nice 2 minute, he go every single plot point, which I thought was funny.
It was very
But
wordy.
yeah, so this experience of trying to watch this was just like, ugh. I should, as you mentioned, Mark, I was like, how quickly can I get the box set of Happy Days to my house? Because it was a nightmare, and I never want to watch Pluto TV ever again. Having said that, I like that the Fonz wears a leather jacket for the jump.
Yeah.
I had written down, I get it's his signature look, right? He's always,
Yes.
except for the first few episodes, he's wearing a mechanic's outfit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that I think the jacket is in the Smithsonian, I think. But that creates a lot of drag when you're on the water.
Yeah.
Are
So if he didn't have that jacket
on,
he would have won the first race and didn't even need to jump the shark.
yeah, so the Fonz constantly lets his cool get the better of him in certain episodes, right? I mean, he usually comes back and wins, but yeah, I mean, in real life, that's a matter of seconds with that leather jacket. It's heavy.
Yeah.
But I love that. I think his only life jacket was just the thing around his waist.
Sure.
Was just because they had to show off the leather jacket.
I found out
you can't get in the way.
I found out that while reading up on this episode, that Henry Winkler was a experienced stunt performer, water skier.
Yes,
he knew how to water ski
he taught
from
lessons.
Yeah, from his childhood, but he didn't do the jump because of not trying to hurt himself.
Right.
He's not Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Right.
putting other people's livelihoods on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine if Henry Winkler goes down? Basically, Happy Days is over.
Yeah.
I love how insignificant the actual stunt just looks and feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even try to figure out a way to have the shark jump out of the water or anything like that.
They had a paper fin going around.
Yeah.
Cardboard fin.
And it's like he's in no real danger ever.
Yeah. And then just some stock footage of a shark.
Yeah.
And it also clashes with the meat of the story, which is Richie coming to struggling to decide on whether or not to sign a Hollywood contract.
Yeah.
But
$200 a week, guys.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But yeah, that whole beach thing was just insane. Where just the magic of television, where he needs to stay cool in the Fonz and not be practical at all at any point. Yeah. The other thing, just so we can move on to other stuff after this, I wanted to real quick touch on the end of the third episode where we do finally go back to Milwaukee and see Scott Baio, and then you see him next to Joni and Erin Moran, and despite them being the same age, he looks like a child next to her.
Sure.
There's no reason that he should be hitting on her. It shouldn't be taken seriously at all. And for some reason I was like, is he younger? But nope, they're the same age, and she just looks so much older than him in this.
And she was cuddling up next to that California guy the whole time on that trip. I guess this is before Joni loved Chachi.
Yeah, this is probably that's probably the stuff that they stretched out the other 6 seasons. I did love that Richie fell in love with that girl and then got very clingy at the end.
I like how just adhering to the status quo this show was on that aspect of
Yeah.
like, because I guess that happens in the first episode. It is not touched upon in the second episode at all, that romance. And then the third episode, it's talked about again in the postcard home. And then immediately she's like, oh well, I have to leave. I'm leaving tomorrow. I have like, oh, she's going like a biosphere or something like that, something random.
Yeah, and she's an oceanographer.
Yeah, she's an oceanographer. She's going to the biosphere, randomly out of nowhere. I have to leave. Bye. This was nice, nice fling. And it's just like he was just like getting ready to propose to this girl. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, that wraps up that story nicely.
Yeah, it was like, was it the freckles? It's the freckles.
Yeah.
No. I liked you. I just have to do this weird oceanographer thing that came out of nowhere. That I don't know if I ever mentioned I was one.
I want to talk about how great of a dad Mr. Cunningham is.
Yeah.
Tom Bosley.
And Tom Bosley. And the advice he gives Richie is like super progressive for not only 1955 but also like 1974.
Sure. Right, with
At the end.
the whole college thing.
Yeah, where he's just like, this isn't my decision for you. You have to make this decision on your own. Just
Right.
like, god damn. It's like something you'd see nowadays,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah, and because
He even mentions. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I think we're going to talk about the same thing, so you can go.
Well, he mentions how he wishes he wanted to be an actor, Ozzy something or other. And he was like, well, if I turned out to be Ozzy whoever, it would just be, that's what I'm saying, and that's final.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, essentially his dad forced him to go to college, so he wasn't going to do that for Richie. To Richie, because Richie can make his own decisions. The dad's still at home they're still trying to find his older brother. They don't know where he is.
He's in the attic somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah. I also,
How's the brother, Chuck?
Chuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes up, never comes back down. He's off there somewhere with Donna's sister from that 70s show.
That's right. The Castaways.
Yeah. We also got to see James Doughton, a pre-Animal House James Doughton, as the California kid.
That's right. Was that 2 years later or a year later?
It might have been a year later. Animal House. This was 1977. This episode came out.
So it would have to be, it was 78, I think.
Yeah.
Animal House.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
1978. Yeah.
Can I, real quick, because we were just talking about Tom Bosley and how great of a father he was. Can we talk about his drip in this episode?
Sure.
My man, rocking the knee-high socks with the short shorts.
Yeah.
The beach wear. He was dripping out, man. I loved it. He's got like the nice slacks on in one scene, but he's always wearing like a Hawaiian shirt. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, also very good advice. I'm looking at pictures of Tom Bosley. He's got some drip too, like his Wikipedia picture.
He does.
Old school.
Yeah. The whole scene when you find out that it was Richie, they liked his mom being the typical, I guess not in a mean way, but like stage mom, like she just kept thinking like, oh man, it's gonna be a mansion and you're gonna put your feet in the Hollywood Walk of Fame cement and all this. She seems to be wanting them to push in that direction. So that's why the fatherly advice is very, I guess, needed, or it's weird how I know you mentioned that it's very progressive for this time period. There are a lot of things that happen in this time period that seem like they could have been ripped out of this time, and it's weird looking back that there were periods of time when there were some, pushes towards more progressive thinking. I think the one that always gets brought up is the transgender storyline in Love Boat, is around this time.
Sure.
And so I'm not surprised that it was so poignant. And I think it can only be delivered by somebody like Tom Bosley. I think his personality, lends that to the, I'll back you whatever you want, son. Sort of, not laissez-faire, but sort of like hands-off parent. He doesn't have like that, that helicopter parent sort of persona about him. All he wants you to do is make your own decisions, but think about them essentially.
Mhm.
He was like Uncle Phil, like pre-Uncle Phil
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
Fresh Prince, right? Because Uncle Phil was the same way. He'd be hands off, but when push came to shove,
yeah,
you didn't want to mess with Uncle Phil.
He
Yeah.
broke out Lucille.
He would break out Lucille, exactly. Yeah, but Tom Bosley was a gentle parent, you
Yeah.
know, before gentle parenting was a thing, I guess.
Mm. Yeah.
And I also wonder in this episode if they had to pay anything or how much they had to pay Disney to do the ears thing at the end with Al.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like-
also might be before it was very expensive to do something along those lines to Disney.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before they
Yeah.
were sticklers.
Yeah, Disney might have been just like, yay, pay for the ears, and
Right.
that's good.
Because I don't even think like Disney World was open yet at that point. It might be. I'm not sure.
I feel
But
like Disney World opened like 1955.
Disney World.
I think so.
I think Disneyland opened in the 50s.
Maybe I'm thinking of Disneyland.
Yeah, land is first,
Yeah.
for sure, and that's why I guess it would.
1971, so it was open.
Okay, it
But
was.
It was 1971 though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they weren't the dominant species that they are today.
Right. It wasn't the
Yeah.
juggernaut, the
Right.
trillion-dollar
Yeah,
company.
Right.
they would have made him go on a spiel about how great Disney was after he got the hat on.
Right. Let's
would
go.
have been part
Let's
of the
now
deal.
all go to Disneyland.
Yeah, there's always those episodes of the TGIF block that would go to Disney World or Disneyland.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
true.
Well, because that was
They-
ABC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, once Disney bought it, all of a sudden those shows started going to Disney
Yeah.
World on trips.
Full
And my
House, I
favorite-
remember specifically.
Full House.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, my favorite Al's scene from this is at the end when he's like talking very low, whisper, secretive. It's like, is it true about their hamburgers? There, they put lettuce and tomato on them. Yeah. And then he goes, and even sometimes mayonnaise, and then he just drops the bag. Like it's so incredulous to put mayonnaise on a hamburger.
California
good
people just
scene.
ruining food.
Food, yeah.
Al Del Vecchio. As
That's
a
right.
matter of fact.
Yeah, the fun thing that made me recognize that there was a commercial that I saw, one of those aforementioned when I was at the MTV block, where it was a guy totally shitting on this beer from California, and that Californians don't know what real beer is for real men,
Mm.
but I order it anyway, and it's not like a known brand nowadays, and it was just like his reaction to the burger just reminded me of that, of all the like stereotypical things in that time period about California, and how it was there, and it was like this different world essentially.
Sure.
When we saw, I think it was the second episode or the second part of the episode when they pull into the Paramount lot.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
was thinking to myself, I was like, man, that name used to have a lot of weight to it.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yes,
just
it did.
now it's just a joke.
I did like in that scene where Fonzie just walks up the garden and goes, Fonzarelli, and like touches him on the chin and walks in.
That's how famous he was.
It's a thing, yeah.
The Fonz was an icon at that point.
Yeah.
Everyone knew him.
Yeah, but it was somebody said, and I don't know, I guess it would be similar. It might be the closest example is like this jump the shark thing, went off the rails because Fonzie became more of a focus of the show. It's like when they started turning Family Matters into the Steve Urkel show,
Right.
rather than we're having the Winslows involved as well, and
Right.
it's like this moment is like they mash up those two. It's like it became a thing where anytime a kid came in to play, or there was something else. Roseanne with the lottery and all that. Just that singular moment where everything changes for the show.
Sure.
It just shows you with as Dan mentioned earlier, it just shows you how strong and how tough it was, how strong of a pull Gary Marshall had at this point, and how difficult it was to get shows off the air when they had any kind of clout to them. That they lasted 6 seasons after this transition point, when every other show that's had a similar transition point is only like a year or 2, maybe 3, from when they do the switch. I think I think it's remarkable and just shows a different era of television. Like as soon as the ratings would start going down, if this show was on nowadays, it'd be canceled like the next season. But since it was Happy Days, Fonz and all that, yeah, let's just give it another year. Maybe it'll rebound. Who knows? We'll have Joni start and Chachi do a romance. That'll do it. Sort
I
of
bet you
giving
the
it
ratings
second
were still
chances.
pretty strong at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, it starts declining from like season 5 on, from what I read.
It was like a steady decline.
Yeah, steady decline. Like with any show, you get to that's why the 5th year became such a big thing with syndication.
Season 5 of Happy Days, it was the second most watched show in the United States.
Yeah.
Trailing only Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, no way. And that was a spin-off of Happy Days, right?
Days.
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was just, it's just interesting to think about, at the way, when you do a little bit of research into this, just the way television was a lot different back then than it was, well, definitely nowadays, but even after all the legacy shows ended in the 90s and all into the 2000s, things outside of, unless you were on CBS, you didn't get much of a rope as a sitcom. But yeah, history's pretty interesting with especially television, and the way it's evolved and like that. Yeah, and one thing, you guys' opinion on one other thing that had a switch. It's The Simpsons is the famous switch where it goes from Bart to Homer, right? And the show gets better? Question mark. When they do that.
Well, yeah, Bart was very popular, but I always thought that there was a good mix of them.
I think in its best seasons, it was pretty balanced.
Yeah, but yeah, they were the focal point
Yeah.
of those seasons most of the time.
You maybe have like 2 or 3 episodes a season that would be devoted to Lisa, then Marge, and then maybe you'd have a background character for an episode, a Krusty or Mr. Burns.
Right.
Yeah, I would say at its strength, it was a nice balance. Yeah. All right. Well, final thoughts, gentlemen. Happy Days, Hollywood, episodes 1 through 3. Dan.
I will say we didn't touch upon the shark that much for our.
It's barely in it.
Yeah. It's basically in it for 5 to 10 minutes.
One thing I want to talk about is I can't believe they devoted an entire episode to the lead up of the jump, right?
Right.
The gauntlet is tossed at the end of the second episode. Like, you got to jump that shark. And then there's just 25-minute episode completely devoted to the actual jumping of the shark, which was incredible to me. I didn't realize it was, I thought this episode was just one episode. Fonzie jumping the shark was just going to be one episode. But technically it is, but there's 2 episodes of lead up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. They did. And again,
you got to come back a week later to see him jump the shark.
That's the crazy part.
Back. Yeah. You watched a full hour-long Happy Days episode, because the first 2 episodes they aired on the same night, September 13th. So you watched a full hour-long episode of Happy Days, and then it wasn't even concluded, and you had to come back a week later to watch him jump the shark. Or if he was going to jump the shark, spoiler alert, he does jump the shark.
He does.
He lands it.
And the California kid is the one who says he's going to jump the shark.
Yeah, he chickens out.
Yeah,
he does. It makes no sense.
With his buddy that wants to be Jack Benny, which 100% Mark. What a joke that it's not hold up to the test of time. I have no idea if that Jack Benny impression was good or not.
I know who Jack Benny is.
I'm not sure I do. I've heard the name. I can't tell you why I would know who he is.
Yeah. I'm sure he was very popular in the 50s.
He was probably regular on the Colgate comedy. I'm sure he's probably regular on the Colgate Comedy Hour.
The Colgate Comedy Hour.
I bet there's a Jack Benny.
There must be. Yeah. I mean, they had 12 Steve Allen jokes.
So many Steve Allen jokes.
I don't understand. Someone really likes Steve Allen in that writing room, I guess.
Yeah.
Listen, again, this is such a quaint show going back to it. It's like hardly any controversies could be found. I'm sure. One of the greatest sitcom families of all time, one of the greatest sitcom characters of all time, right? With the Fonz and the Cunninghams. My sister told me that if I had red hair, I would look like Richie Cunningham, and I don't know if that's a slight or she was trying to say something nice about me. She didn't say. She didn't elaborate.
Do
So
you
I'm
look
gonna,
like? Do you look like, what was it? Deranged apple pie, or what was the description
no, it was apple
of his
pie
face?
face. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
he's got an apple pie face. I don't know what that means.
I
What do you got?
mean, I think Ron Howard was a good-looking guy in his day.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. So I'm taking it as
Yeah.
yeah, you both
as a
lost your hair
compliment.
early, so I mean,
Yeah,
True. And
that's
he
true.
produced he produced Bryce Dallas Howard, so he's got good genes going on in there.
yeah.
Yes, and then I told my sister the story of Clint Howard from from way back when, and
Oh yeah, where he totally shit all over him and then he saw it.
yeah, and she put me in my place for that one. Like that was really mean. Yeah, it was. That was
I
mean.
feel like he's MAGA though, so it's probably okay.
Clint.
Maybe I don't
Clint.
know. Who knows? I don't want to speculate. Um, but I always think about that Star Trek episode he was in, and hard to get that
Yeah.
face out of there. Hard not to see that. Uh,
Yep.
Final thoughts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was a very fun episode to watch. It has nothing to do with Shark Week.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
but
guess the question is it a bad episode?
no,
Right? It's
no,
not.
No,
definitely not. Compared to other shows that jump the shark, no,
Mhm.
not at all. I would pit this against, like season 5 of The Office or later seasons of The Office. I think this holds up better.
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's fun. To me, it was fun to go back and revisit some of these characters that I grew up with. The Boz, Mrs. C, Richie, Joni, Ralph Mouth, Potsy. Uh, they were very comforting to me as a kid. And seeing them again, like, oh, this was fun. I could kind of lay back for an hour and just remember what it was like to be a kid. So, not the best Happy Days episode by far, but definitely not terrible. I would watch this again.
Mark?
yeah. So yeah, it goes to show you when a classic TV show, even in its like downward slope in terms of quality, looking back on it, is still much better than a lot of the stuff we see around today, and holds up a lot better. And you just think, like you mentioned, Laverne and Shirley, like both of those shows hold up for probably because they got the same amount of quality of writing and care to them. This episode in particular was fun in a way that coming into it without seeing anything before it recently and all that, was just trying to piece together like where they were age wise and relationship wise in terms of friendships and all that. And it was so easy to just get into it. Like there's no real barrier for entry. You can pick up on everything, which is why missing episode 1 wasn't a big deal. The jokes are still are fine. They're not like gonna be a classic thing that's repeated a million times from the show, but it's not cringy in a lot of spots. There are some moments, the Jack Benny one probably being the biggest for nowadays, but the thing I like most about it is that amongst all the sitcom tropes and jokes and the Fonz being the Fonz and all that, there are a couple like really heartfelt moments, like we talked about, Richie and his dad, then Richie and Fonzie at the pier when he throws the contract in the water, and then even when Fonz finds out that he didn't get the acting job, just the work there is a little more serious than a show in this genre needs to be, but it works really well, and I think it's a hat tip to Ron Howard and Henry Winkler and Tom Bosley to sort of bringing the heart into this sitcom, and the best ones are able to do that. And I think I think if you were just looking for something, if you need to have something on the TV when you're like cleaning the house or doing anything, and you don't mind the Pluto TV commercials or you can play them, they do just run it as like a channel, like an old TV channel that you can just tune into, and it will just play episodes of Happy Days. And it's a thing that can be on in the background, and you can stop and pause and watch for bits and pieces of it, and still get a little bit out of it. It was nice to revisit a show from this time period, and I would recommend it to anybody. Even if you have to go through some pretty terrible hoops and apps to do it nowadays.
As for me, yeah, Happy Days is great. This isn't that bad of an episode. It looks like the show started to decline in ratings around season 7, if you're wondering, which was also the season that Richie left. Yeah, this was fun watch. I don't know if I've ever actually seen this episode before, so I'm glad I watched it. It's as funny as you think Happy Days is, which is kind of a loaded statement. If you don't think Happy Days is that funny, because you know what Happy Days is about, then it's not going to surprise you, because it's exactly what you think it is. But we got Fonzie jumping a shark and making a fool of those upper class whites from California, which is great. Sticking it to the man. You get that's more or less it. You get some
It's
silly
very bare bones.
you get some silly stuff with the producer who the producer loved or the director loved the Fonz, but the producers changed that. And you get a really heartfelt conversation between father and son, and Tom Bosley just doing a really good job of being the dad that everyone would look up to even nowadays. There's no questioning of well, it was a time period, you got to accept it. So it was cool to see Tom Bosley being an overall good dude. But yeah, this is not a bad episode. And again, it happened so early in this run that it was just shocking that it became synonymous with it. But I guess it's just ridiculous enough to be become a iconic. So, all right. Well, that is our episode on the Jump the Shark episode of Happy Days. So we're gonna take a quick break, and then come back with the third segment. But before we do, Dan, what you have for us?
All right, real quick, guys, please go check out the Game Vault podcast. It is run by our very Mark Myers and good friend of ours, Tom Schuster. It is a video game podcast where they discuss video game news, games that they're playing, a bunch of interesting topics all about video games. So if you are a gamer, this is a great source of information for you. You can find it on any podcast platform that you use. So please make sure to go rate and review them. It helps them out a great deal, and they put a lot of work into it. They're on all social media apps as well. So they're there at Game Vault Pod. They also stream on Twitch at Game Vault Pod. So please make sure to follow them there. It's a great community. They're playing all types of games, newer games, older games. And please search them on YouTube. Mark will pop up with the Video Game News Hour. And again, very informative. So if you're a gamer, you're new, seasoned, they got you covered.
Hey, great. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our third segment. So don't go anywhere. And welcome back. And now it's time for third segment, and this one is a share the screen sitch.
Ooh, I love these.
So you guys are going to see my screen in just a second.
This is the combination of two things I love, Dan.
What's that?
Surprise segment and share the screen.
Surprise segments are fun. They are very surprising.
Okay. To share my screen in 3, 2, 1. Let me know if you could see this.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
We've got Jeopardy. Specifically, we have Sitcom Jeopardy. So we have 5 categories, 5 questions for each category. They are all sitcom themed. We have, going across the top, we have sitcom addresses. We have Jump the Shark. We have sitcoms at the Oscars, TGIF, and final episodes. I think, based on my vaguely okay memory, was that Dan went first last time, and I have no idea if that's true. But then we're going to have Mark go first this time.
That's fine.
So, Mark, where are you going to go?
There's no buzz in, right?
Ooh, so not for this one, but not when you pick, but buzz in with your favorite sitcom catchphrase?
I was thinking, Aunt, I swear to God, I was thinking the same exact thing.
That's what they call in the corporate world a synergy.
Synergy. I was going to ask if we could do any sitcom catchphrase and not like specific to Happy Days.
There you go.
Awesome. Let's go with sitcom addresses for 100.
Sitcom addresses for 100. The answer 742 Evergreen Terrace, Springfield, USA.
Dan, I'm going to give you this 100.
Oh, it's your turn, isn't it? I thought.
No, it's Buzz in. It's Jeopardy.
It's Buzz in.
All right. Well, apropos of this, Doe
Dan.
would be The Simpsons.
The answer is, what is The Simpsons? Dan gets a point. 100 points to Dan.
It felt wrong for me to answer that because if Dan had remembered it was buzzed in, he probably would have jumped on it.
Yeah, I thought because Anthony said not for this, so I thought it was automatic.
I meant just picking the first category.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, Dan, where are you going?
Jump the shark for 100.
Jump the shark for 100. The answer. This 90s sitcom about a lower middle class family unofficially jumped a shark when the titular character won the lottery in season 9.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
That's a long one, Mark.
I think Doe was first. At least he started it first. Dan.
What is Roseanne?
What is Roseanne?
Thank you, Mark, for saying that in the episode because I had no idea before that. I was paying attention. You see, you can't say I don't pay attention.
Right.
Sitcoms at the Oscars for 100.
All right. The answer. This actress won her Oscar for As Good as It Gets. The same year, she won an Emmy for her role in her breakout sitcom.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
Is it Helen Hunt? Who would have Helen Hunt?
Did you say what is Helen Hunt?
Yeah.
Why is Helen Hunt?
Why is Helen Hunt?
I heard she's a cunt, honestly, if you're asking that question. The answer, who is Helen Hunt? More like Helen Cunt.
Hey.
Who told you that? Was it Jack Nicholson?
Jack Benny.
Jack
Benny.
Benny.
All right. Mark, where you going?
Sitcom addresses for 2.
Sitcom actors for 200. The answer, 129 West 81st Street, apartment 5B, New York, New York.
So,
Dan.
well, what is Seinfeld?
The answer, what is Seinfeld? There's Jerry's apartments.
Yes.
TGIF for 100.
TGIF for 100. The answer, TGIF premiered on September 22nd, 1989, starting with a new episode of Full House, which led into the series premiere of this long-running sitcom.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
What is Perfect Strangers?
Is incorrect.
So,
Dan.
what is Family Matters?
The answer, what is Family Matters?
Oh, I read that wrong.
What did you think it was?
No, I thought it was an already long-running sitcom.
Oh, gotcha.
Not one that became long-running. That I read that wrong. But Perfect Strangers was a TGIF show.
Yes, it was.
Okay. If it shows up, I'll thank you for that as well. Final episodes for 100, please.
All right, the answer. The final episode of this sitcom, entitled One for the Road, closes the show with the main character announcing, "Sorry, we're closed."
Dope.
Dan.
What is Cheers?
The answer, what is Cheers? Good job.
Jump the Shark, 200.
The answer. When this future Oscar winner joined the cast of Growing Pains as a homeless high school student, it seemed to signify the show's best days were behind them.
Dope.
Ooh, quick on the draw. Dan.
Who is Leonardo DiCaprio?
Answer. Who is Leonardo DiCaprio?
You got to find the quicker one, Mark.
No, it's got to be who starts. And that would be fair.
I would say that I would, in a tie, it would be whoever starts their theirs first.
Gotcha. Okay. Sitcoms at the Oscars, 200. Just go right around. We'll snake it.
Okay. Answer. The best supporting Oscar went to this actor for Syriana, decades after he joined the cast of The Facts of Life in season 7.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
Who is George Clooney?
Answer. Who is George Clooney?
Sitcom addresses for 3.
300. 1313 Mockingbird Lane, Mockingbird Heights, California.
Dope.
Up your...
Who are the Munsters?
The answer. What is the Munsters? Dan.
Sitcom address is 400.
Answer. 416 Marie Drive, Point Place, Wisconsin.
Dope.
Up your nose. Oh, that's Stan.
Who are... what is Happy Days?
That is incorrect.
Yeah. Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
That 70s show. What is that 70s show?
The answer. What is that 70s show?
I forgot that they were in... They say it in the theme.
Yep.
Let's finish the category, Dan.
Sitcom addresses for 500. 328 Chauncey Street, Brooklyn, New York.
Dope.
Dan.
Not right. Of Queens.
3, 2,
I don't know.
1. Brr.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
What is How I Met Your Mother?
That is incorrect. The answer. What is The Honeymooners?
Nice.
That was going to be my other choice for my buzz-in, but that felt longer. Boop, pal,
I
straight
think
to
it's still you, Mark.
TGIF for 2.
The answer. Step by Step was the 90s answer to The Brady Bunch, as it featured a mixed family, including this cousin who lived in a van in the driveway.
Now I'm just trying to tell me the answer.
Step-by-step guy.
No, I know. Fuck.
You have 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I'm so mad at myself. 'Cause I know it is.
The answer. Who is
Cody.
Cody?
Yep.
Or the Code Man?
Oh, man.
Still
God.
your board, Mark.
TGIF for 3.
Answer. Before finding a home on UPN, this adaptation of a beloved comedy movie aired on TGIF in 1996 and featured Stacey Dash reprising the role she played in the film.
Up your Dan.
What is Clueless?
The answer. What is Clueless?
I think Don Faison is reprises.
Let's do final episodes 2.
The answer. Goodbye, Farewell, Amen was this last episode of this series and is still the most watched sitcom episode of all time, drawing 105 million viewers.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
What is MASH?
The answer. What is MASH?
Well, tons.
Board is yours.
TGIF for 4.
The answer is originating as a spin-off of Growing Pains, this lesser-known TGIF sitcom centered around a high school basketball coach, his wife, and their 8 children.
Oh.
Dan.
What is Just the 10 of Us?
The answer. What is Just the 10 of Us?
Good job.
Thank you. Final episodes 300.
Featuring a Heather Langenkamp from Nightmare on Elm Street fame. Final episodes 300?
300, please. Yes.
Answer. After stringing along its fans for 208 episodes, How I Met Your Mother ended with Ted returning to a romance with this ex, who happened to be a Canadian pop star as a teen.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
Who is Robin?
The answer. Who is Robin? Robin Shabatsky. Robin Sparkles.
Sparkles.
Robin
Was the
Spark. I didn't know
Canadians,
she was a pop star.
Not a real one. In the show, she was. It
Gotcha.
was like a Tiffany sort of.
Yeah, let's go to the mall.
Let's go to the mall. Mark.
TGIF for 5.
For 500, the answer. This two-named producing team had their names at the end credits of several TGIF series, including Full House and Step by Step.
I think I know one of them. I don't know both.
3 seconds.
Yeah, I don't
3,
know.
2, 1. The
Question
answer.
before, is one of them Thomas Miller?
I don't know the first name, but you're probably right. The
Okay.
answer is, who are Miller Boyette?
Alright.
Mark, I believe you still control the board.
400 final episode.
The answer. Full House ended its 8th season run with a 2-part episode in which Michelle falls off a horse and suffers from this very tropey ailment.
So,
Dan.
what is amnesia?
The answer. What is amnesia?
That's pretty good.
Board is yours.
Final episodes 500.
Seinfeld had a controversial ending as the 4 main cast members stand trial for breaking this obscure law.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
What is a good Samaritan law?
The answer. What is
Nice.
a good Samaritan law? Excellent.
I
was worried.
remember that happening.
I was worried Dan was going to jump in. I was like, oh no. When it said Seinfeld in the beginning.
All right.
Jump the shark for 3.
The answer. Fans of this Happy Days spinoff all seem to agree that when the main characters left Milwaukee for California, it marked the end. It marked the beginning of the end.
Oh,
Dan.
what is Johnny Loves Chachi?
It is incorrect.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
What is Laverne and Shirley?
The answer. What is Laverne and Shirley? Tightening that race.
Nice. Oh
5
my
questions
God.
left.
400 jump the shark.
Sure. Only a part of the Brady Bunch's final 6 episodes, this relative joining the cast marked an early instance of a show jumping the shark.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Mark.
Who is Oliver?
The answer. Who is Cousin Oliver?
Nice. Mark's in the lead.
Mark takes the lead.
Let's finish jump the shark.
Okay. For 500. In order to boost ratings, the creators of Mork and Mindy casted this comedy legend as their infant son, despite the actor being 55 at the time.
Dope.
Dan.
Who is Jonathan Winters?
The answer. Who is Jonathan Winters?
From It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
That's great.
Yeah, I was trying to do the math on actors who have been
Sitcoms at the Oscars 300.
The answer. Marissa Tomei went to college for just a season in this spinoff a few years before she won her Oscar for My Cousin Vinny.
Up your nose
Dope.
with rubber hose.
I think Mark got
Mark.
that.
What is a different world?
The answer. What is a different world? We are all knotted up with two
It's
questions
coming down.
left.
Coming down
Sitcoms
the
for-
wire.
The answer. Jennifer Lawrence won her Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook, but she started out playing the daughter of a blue-collar comedian on this series.
Up your nose with rubber hose.
Mark.
Who is Bill Engvall?
I will accept it. It is. What is the Bill Engvall show?
Oh,
This series. The show.
okay.
Is what I was looking for.
Yeah. Finish
All right.
500.
Final question. Tom Hanks has 2 Oscars, but before he made it big at the movies, he starred as one half of the bosom buddies alongside this actor.
Up your nose with rubber hose.
Mark.
Who is Ames?
Not Willie Ames.
Dope.
Dan.
Who is Peter Scolari?
The answer. Who is
Yes!
Peter Scolari?
Oh,
Oh boy, gentlemen. We have a game 3,200 to 3,100. Dan has the slightest of leads, and we're going into Final Jeopardy. So why don't you text me how much you are going to wait?
percent.
Is there a category?
Yes, I can give it to you. Classic sitcoms. Very weird, Dan. You came up as me.
Yeah, that shouldn't be.
Very strange.
Oh no.
That is odd as all fuck. Okay. So I have your wagers, and we are going to the category is classic sitcoms. The answer is in the Lucy Does a TV commercial of I Love Lucy. Lucy is hired as a spokesperson for this fictional health tonic, which contains 23% alcohol.
How are we with spelling?
It has to be at least the phonetic, like it has to be phonetically correct. Doesn't have to necessarily be the spelling correction. But I am going to be a stickler if somebody gets it right in terms of the phonetics and the other one doesn't. All right.
Oh no.
So the answer was in the Lucy Does a TV commercial episode of I Love Lucy. Lucy is hired as a spokesperson for this fictional health, which contains 23% alcohol. The answer is, what is Vitamita Vegemin? Vitamita Vegemin. VITAMEATAVEGAMIN. So, Mark, you. Oh wait, you. This always goes in the leader.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dan, you put Vita Vegemin, and you wagered 3,200 points.
I thought it was Vita Vita Vegemin.
Vita Vegemin is how
Yeah.
you're going to pronounce that. That is
Yeah.
incorrect. So you bet the house, and you walk away with nothing. Mark, you said Vita Vegemin, which is also incorrect. But you wagered only 3,000 points.
What?
Leaving you
Why?
with 100 points. I'm assuming for this exact scenario.
Insanity. It's the only time he's never wagered everything.
So Mark walks away with 100 points and the win.
40 chess.
I hate you.
And by the way, I could say it in my head. I just could not spell it.
Yes.
Oh,
The fact
yeah.
that it is very clearly has the word meat in there, I was
Yeah.
going to be a stickler.
Yeah.
Well
It's the
done,
most humiliating
gentlemen.
loss I've ever had.
You both did very well. Not many incorrect guesses on that one, so I appreciate it.
There were a couple that stumped, but
Yeah.
that's what Jeopardy is.
Exactly the point of the game. If it was easy, they probably would call it something other than Jeopardy.
They call it Wheel of Fortune.
Exactly. Yeah, that was fun, guys. I'm glad it was so close. All
I'm
right.
stewing right now.
You have only yourself to blame.
I guess, sure.
Also, Mark, I guess.
I blame
In a
Mark.
way.
Yeah, I blame more Mark on that.
In a way, Mark is also at fault here.
Yeah.
Not me though.
I'll take it.
All right, everybody. That's our third segment, and that is our episode. Join us on all our socials. We're on TikTok Pod at Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram. We are They Called This Movie. Just look for us on YouTube, and They Called This Movie on TikTok. If you want to send us an email, you can hit us up at tictanpod@gmail.com. And yeah, I think that's it. But the real place to get a hold of us is over on that Discord. And the only way to get on that Discord is to go to patreon.com/tictanpod and subscribe for just $1. A lot of fun over there. We're talking movies, we're talking TV, we're talking video games, wrestling, all kinds of fun stuff over there on that Discord. Influencing people to watch movies, watch more television, just kind of discussing stuff. Yes, check that out. Once again, the Patreon is patreon.com/tictanpod, and it's just $1. All right, we are going to get out of here. The director of these episodes of Happy Days was Jerry Paris. So, for Dan Aquino and Mark Myers, this is Anthony DeVecchio telling Jerry Paris, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you?